All right, welcome to Outside the Box, first edition. Host Rick Stevens here.
Co-host DAREIOS LINSS.
Special guest.
The
Alonso.
Bruce Wayne.
No, Alonso. We'll go with Alonso here.
All right, so just want a quick shout out to Downtown Strength and Conditioning, Jessica, for allowing us to use her space. And here we go. So Alonso,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, let's see. I was born in New York, raised down here in Miami since I was 3 years old. Joined the Army back in 2009 and was there for 12 years. Got out, and now I'm here for the past 3 years. Well, in Miami for the past 3 years.
So what background are you? You said you were born in New York, raised in Miami, but you come from a Latin background.
Colombian. Yeah,
Full 100%?
100% Colombian. Yeah.
So it begs the question, why the military? Why did some Colombian kid from New York and
Yeah,
Miami?
he just sped through his life like it was nothing. Let's back up a
It
little
was
bit.
nothing. It was, I don't know. I just, for the longest time, I wanted to join the military, and it was usually like wanting to go like special ops, but I never came to that. The truth is, I got my ex-wife pregnant for the second time, and at that point, I was like, "Okay, it's time to change something here," and military it was.
All right,
Yeah.
so when you moved to Miami, where in Miami did you initially move to?
Up to Tamarack. I stayed with my sister for a while, and now I'm living up in Miami Gardens.
Bro, there's a lot of old people in Tamarack.
A lot, yeah, yeah.
You drive from
it's
Miami
nice and
Gardens
quiet.
all the way down to downtown for the
I
gym?
do, yeah.
Damn.
That's how much I like this gym, the community, the people, and just like brought me in, hit me up, and was like, "Hey, come check this place out." And I'm a pretty loyal person, I like to think, so I'm still here.
Jessica's great with that. Jessica's great with like unforcefully forcing you to make a decision,
Yes.
if that makes sense. She's
Yes,
like,
completely.
"Oh no, you're gonna be here."
Yeah.
Like, no, it's like Inception. It's
Very
just you
much.
say it enough times and then it turns into reality, and then boom. I remember when you came in the first time to do the open, not this past year but the year before,
Yes.
and Jess preluded you saying like, "Oh, that's Savon's friend, blah blah blah." I was like, "Oh, cool, nice." And I thought like some super fit dude, like guy that's been in the CrossFit space for a while, was going to come in and like kick ass. And granted, you were good, but I was like,
And then I showed up.
I was like, "Oh, okay, all right." And then a year later, though, your progress as an athlete within a year, just from training at a real gym and doing a real program versus training in front of like a storage shed,
Yeah, storage chef for a while.
completely different.
Yeah, I think that's what mainly got me to actually come to DTSC and work out, was that very day that I came to the first time to do the open, and I could feel the electricity, and I was like, wow, this is what I've been missing for like the past 3 years. So yeah.
Friday Night Lights gets very DTSC does it well,
Yeah.
and we do it very Miami style in the sense that, you know, booze
DJ.
after the wah, DJ, all the lights,
Pizza.
100 people in a maybe a very tiny space in downtown, sweating
Yeah.
your cojones off. You know,
Very.
it's a full experience.
Yeah, the area is nice too. Like once you get done working out, you can go across the street and get something to eat, have a drink,
Right.
hang out with friends. So yeah,
Everything's in walking distance.
pretty much.
Walk home at night if you want, with your keys, wallet,
Phone,
whatever you want.
all of the above.
All of the above.
So people have mentioned, Sevon. How did that? Tell us the story.
So, I mean, I started listening to Sevon pretty much right when the pandemic hit. I just got into chat. Mostly first started with when he had Josh and Matt on the podcast, back when they did the Josh, Matt, and Sevon podcast. I don't know if you guys remember that one.
No.
Oh, like
Yeah.
Bridges and
Yeah,
Fraser.
Bridges. Yeah.
Oh shit.
So I was listening to it. They were doing it live, and I would just jump in the chat, and I was there like daily. And then once he started going more into the Sevon podcast and just doing daily live shows, I would just hang out in the chat, comment, and then little by little, I would send him thumbnails and just kept on doing it. And from there, it just like became a friendship.
So key to being boys with Savant is just fangirl your way on Instagram live comments and
I'm gonna send him some thumbnails.
send him some thumbnails.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I
and,
did.
and he'll love you forever. That's the key.
Yeah. It's just one of those things, he always says it, like, just start doing stuff for people and send it to them. They either use it or they don't.
Right.
And that's what I did.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
If you're not a weirdo and you badger somebody long enough, they're bound to notice you.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, product of your environment, I guess.
Yeah.
So we're gonna back up a little bit, not too far. How did you get into CrossFit?
Oh, that's a good story. So while I was in the Army, I'd say 2014, 15 timeframe, I have a friend. He would always badger me about going to CrossFit, going to the gym with him. And, I was in the infantry. I was pretty much like your normal split: Monday, leg day; Tuesday, chest day, whatever, your normal bro splits. And so that's the mindset I had. I didn't care about running, like cardio.
Cardio, what is that?
Exactly. Like, what's cardio, And all I knew from CrossFit was what I saw. Like, it was your normal bro thinking what CrossFit is, So he finally got me to go to the gym on post. And from there, I just like enjoyed it. And then I started going to the gym and eventually became a member there. And the rest is history.
So how long at this point have you been doing CrossFit for?
Let's see, since 2000, officially probably since like 2015. So I'm hitting about 9 years.
So you've been around for a while
Yeah.
in the CrossFit game.
Mm-hmm.
Did you play sports before?
No, not just for fun, recreational. That's about it. That's like the only background I have in.
Oh, high school? Didn't put on any
No, high
pads,
school.
nothing.
No, nothing. No, I was in high school. I was just like chilling with the boys. That's about it.
So you got in trouble then.
Playing no, it was just playing basketball like at the street ball. That's all I played when I was growing up, street ball. Like the only time I played any like actual sports for school was like in middle school, played soccer. That's about it.
Bro,
But
no
no
American
athletic.
football?
No.
Oh, bro. All right, get him out of here. Get him out of here.
50 more pounds and you could have been
Maybe.
you could have been like a little Ray Rice.
Yeah.
Minus all the bad stuff.
Right. No, but yeah, that's all I did. And then I really wish I would have found CrossFit earlier into my military career. Because once I started doing CrossFit, I could see the difference. Like I could feel the difference all around.
How
So-
impactful was CrossFit during your military career?
Unfortunately, I didn't get to deploy like after I actually started doing CrossFit. But besides that, I mean, it made the rucking much easier. Field problems weren't as bad, like with all the weight and all that stuff, which it never really was, but it just made it easier, especially conditioning wise.
Before you started doing CrossFit, had you deployed already?
Yeah, twice.
Where to?
Afghanistan.
Both times?
Yeah.
What years?
11 and 13.
Oh
Wow.
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 Yeah. Yeah, they were fun times.
So not quiet years per se.
Sorry?
Not quiet years per se.
No, not quiet years, but they were good. They were good years. And that's all I'll say. They were fun. That's definitely.
Well, glad you made it back.
Yeah, same.
Glad you're on the leaderboard.
Right?
I know you said you talked about maybe going into special operation. Did you try to go to selection or did you try out for anything or
No, not really. I wish I would have. Like at the time, before I got out, I was training to go to Delta to try out for them at least, but it never happened. So it is what it is. It would have been great to try, but other things happened, and now I'm out of the Army.
all right, so tell me something. How many times have you done the open
Officially,
officially?
I think officially this was my 5th Open.
Fifth open.
Yeah.
How did this year go?
This year went great. This is by far my best year compared to last year, especially compared to last year. Last year was probably my best year prior to like 2018, I think. But yeah, this one was probably my best year. I could definitely tell the difference in my training, and especially like the intensity that I was able to go at. Especially having animals like this guy over here to train with every night at 7:45.
Hey, listen,
Jesus.
homeboy over here, his first open came in like full blown grizzly bear, and a year goes by and this guy's like out of hibernation, fucking shredded.
As far as
So-
I think we should get into some real bullshit right now.
the
What is
CrossFit
this?
Games,
Yeah.
give me your top 3 men, top 3 ladies, predictions.
Oh, top predictions. Wow.
I know who he's gonna say.
No, I doubt it. Let's see.
Taylor Self.
No, I don't know about Taylor Self. I mean, I wish him the best. And everyone knows, I mean, if you've been following along his journey, like this year really wasn't supposed to be his year to even make it to semifinals. He wasn't really trying to make it, but he's there, and of course I'm gonna pull for him. But top 3 males to podium, or are we talking about
Podium.
Oh wow, that's I
On
gotta
spot.
go with Ricky. I think Ricky's gonna have a good year this year. He has, unless he gets hurt. I mean, you know how he is. He likes to be reckless. So I mean, it happens. Ricky, I think Roman comes back, and Jesus, let's see. Let's throw Justin back in there. I think he has a good year.
Wow, so the champ is out, huh?
Adler.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never really been a big fan of his.
All right. Well,
And then females. Well, I mean, my number 1 pick, and I mean, is Laura Horvat.
looking
think?
strong.
Yeah,
Even with Tia back?
even with Tia. I mean, I could be wrong. Tia's just different. Her mindset when it comes to the games and just the sport itself, it's like different. So, Tia obviously, and for third, I think I'm gonna go with Emma Lawson. I mean, the past 2 years, she's just climbed. Like,
That's a good pick.
yeah,
I think you took my top 3 ladies.
there we go. But in same order, or
Bingo.
Yeah, same order.
oh, nice.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's mine. You?
Surprised he didn't put Pat Vellner back up on there.
I don't know. He's.
Can't
I
leave a
mean,
Canadian off the podium.
Good old Canada boy.
I mean, that's why I picked Emma.
It's that maple. They put crack in that maple
Emma
syrup,
Lawson.
you know?
She's
Yeah,
Canadian.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
That's true.
And I mean, Justin's pretty up north. He's not too far from Canada.
Where's he from?
What is it?
was it Idaho? He did. They did a workout in
He
his
works
garage,
out
right?
in Idaho. I want to say he's
Somewhere
up from
there.
like Washington area. I might be wrong.
It
That
was
sounds,
pretty
that
way out
sounds
there.
right. That sounds right.
Because I think he used to go to Fort Vancouver, CrossFit Fort Vancouver.
Yeah,
I
that
think
is in
that's where
Washington.
his coaches out of. I
Yeah.
want to say. So yeah, I think those are good picks.
I like it. I like it.
And then any dark horses, since we're getting into CrossFit Games talk
Male or female?
for both. Yeah.
Muscle hamster. Colin Mertens.
Wow, Colin Mertens. That's.
I don't know. You think he's too short?
I don't know that he's too short. It depends on the programming. I mean,
That's
I
key
think
right there.
I think this semifinals programming is hit or miss for him actually, because you have that row. You know, he hasn't been very. I mean, the row is a big man's machine.
Yeah.
Any machine is a big man's machine. I mean,
Apparently, that clean and jerk run workout is really bad. I've heard from a couple people that have been like testing it, and a few that like know people that are going to semis and that have tried it.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's like really, really awful.
I don't know if you paid attention this past weekend, but yeah, it looked rough, and we all know that Colton isn't like the greatest runner. He can run better than me, that's for sure. But I mean, when it comes to games,
It's all right, Alonso. You're our DTSC.
Probably the
muscle
same height
hamster.
too.
You're our DTSC Colton.
That's dope.
Handstand push-ups, any workout. All right, I'll
Yeah,
take second
perfect.
today.
Yeah, handstand for you people. when I say you people, short people.
Short
they're
You
they're
people.
just
What do you mean? What do you
those
mean by that,
levers
Rick?
are just so short. I'm jealous of short people when they do handstand push-ups. I'm just like seriously.
How many kipping? Oh no, I'll do them all strict.
Yeah. Nice life.
But yeah, so you said male would be Colton,
No,
and
I don't know if I would say Colton is like my real dark horse pick.
he's your hopefully he gets up there.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. He's a fan favorite.
He's an easy guy to root for.
Yeah, he is. And the way he talks shit is
great.
awesome. I mean, it's something that CrossFit has needed for a while.
Right. And you got to respect that he's a pig farmer and he's
Yeah, he's a man's man.
he's a man's man. He's just
Like,
working all day, trains, does it pretty quietly. I mean,
Yeah.
the shit talk is good. It's a nice element, but I don't know. I hope Brent Fikowski finally does something where he can win the games. I think he's been around for quite a while, and I respect the fact that he's so diligent and anal with the way that he trains and breaks things down. It's like, to me, he's like the American Psycho. He's like the Patrick Bateman of CrossFit. Like,
Okay.
folds his bed perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, walks into the gym, cleans it to a T. But the way that he approaches workouts is very different than what
Very
it seems.
cerebral.
Correct.
Yes.
Which is cool to see. But and he's always been lingering that top 5. Give or take a couple of years. It would be cool to see him pull something out of the bag.
Listen, if Pat has a good first day and second day, I think he will be that dark horse or potentially there. It's just that sometimes he has a lot to make up.
Yes. Especially, yeah, it's always that first workout. Like, for some reason, he just doesn't matter what it is, whether there's biking
on a bike.
Yeah.
or swimming.
No Yonakoski this year.
No
Speaking of swimming.
Yanakoski.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember every games that I would watch the first event whenever there's a swim. It's like, oh, Yonakoski's like 2 minutes ahead of everybody else.
Yeah. And what about female?
Oof.
Didn't they all retire? Because there's a lot
Yeah,
of
they
them
all-
that
Yeah,
are not
no.
doing this here because of different reasons. But
Yeah.
a lot of them are just, Bailey Rail is going to do something else.
Emma Carey.
It just seems like a lot of people have just maybe decided to take the year off or just,
Especially for I think it's only on the female side, because I don't think I've heard of a male say, I'm out this year because so and so or whatever, like I'm going through something in life.
No.
And I think it might be because a lot of the females are
Uh-oh.
pretty young.
Uh-oh.
No, I mean, no, I'm saying they started CrossFit pretty young. They mature faster than men, and you haven't seen like a 18-year-old on the field during a CrossFit game. Like,
I will add to that too. Like, I'll speak to it a little bit because I'm probably the closest in age to these girls that are taking some time away.
So you're calling us old?
pretty much.
Trying to give it some context. As Gen Z, what does Gen Zers think from time to time? I think with social media, as well as the landscape of how competitive CrossFit has gotten the last couple of years, it seems like for these athletes, it's been kind of this mad dash to the top. And it's like climbing Everest when they're at the second to highest peak, and they kind of get there and they start getting a little dizzy. They get a little altitude sickness. Listen, I don't know these people personally, and once again, I'm just a CrossFitter that sees this stuff on TV when they compete. But it would be really cool to see them take the time that they need to figure out their priorities and kind of recheck themselves as young adults, because quite frankly, at our age, it's very you don't know what the world is, and you're trying to figure out where you stand and what your purpose is in the world. And when your purpose has been sports, like I grew up playing hockey my whole life, and until college, hockey and education was my purpose and the one thing I knew as my personal purpose. And when I got to college, and I was still playing hockey, but not at the same competitive level that I was leading prior to. And you got to take a minute to refigure out, all right, what am I doing here? What is my overarching goal? What are things I want to see, live, and experience? And that's tough to do as a young 20-year-old. I mean, it's, I'm sure, much more difficult when you've been doing it at a high level for so long, and with social media and sponsors and monetary expectations that go into it. And it's like, listen, I mean, personally, would it be cool to see Mal O'Brien at whatever 18 years old win the games? Hell yeah. I think everybody can agree that's a cool thing to see. But, you know, it's everybody has to figure out what their purpose and their priority is in life. So
Yeah, you definitely you gotta hit a couple rough patches. You gotta be broke. You gotta have lose the love of your life, a couple divorces, near death experience. You gotta go through some stuff, and it hardens you.
right. Ooh, I do have a good question for you guys. And the only reason I asked this, so this past weekend I did a little road trip up to Tampa and I trained at CrossFit West Chase. Shout out to CrossFit West Chase. Super cool gym. If you're on the west coast of Florida, especially in the Tampa area, that's the gym to go to. Go check them out. What state in the United States would you think is the fittest between resident athletes as well as best gyms?
Isn't it Wisconsin? They gotta be up there somewhere. I heard when we were at the games, when the games was there, they were like the fittest city, one of the fittest cities, and they were known for
Really?
doing outdoor stuff.
No, I'm talking CrossFit wise. Because if we're talking fitness wise, I would totally argue Colorado and Denver to like the death of me. But I'm saying CrossFit wise in terms of like saturation of best boxes, you know, high level athletes. Like I think Florida's pretty damn good.
Everything with everything. I got a Tampa story too. I got to tell you.
I have no idea. I
No
mean,
comment.
So
I
you're
only
saying CrossFit wise?
Bronx, New York. Playground gym.
Florida, probably because everyone wants to come here. California, same thing. I mean, the areas are nice.
Cali's probably up there.
Yeah,
It's like the birthplace.
They got Invictus, Paradiso. I mean, Gold's Gym to begin with is like, you know, the real foundation of fitness. And
So do you have the answer, or are you just asking? You're just throwing it out there?
I was just throwing it out there.
Or if somebody knows, let us know.
I
Somebody out
still
there
think
knows.
Florida. No bias though.
none at all.
All right, Tampa story. Tell us.
Go to Tampa. Girlfriend's daughter's playing a game out there, volleyball, and the whole circuit thing. So in the middle of we checked in the hotel, fill up my tank of gas because I just want to have gas in there. So wake up the next morning to go to the tournament. I walk up to my truck and I see some caution signs around my truck. From far away, I'm like, okay, this is strange. So I walk up, there's a puddle around my car, and I'm like, it's very strange. Smell gas. Looks like it's coming from my car. They put signs here. Let me go further investigate. So I go inside the car. I look at my gas gauge, and I'm like, it's empty. And I'm like, no, can't
No
be.
way.
I filled this thing up last night before I came back. So I said, all right, you know what? Maybe I ran over something. Maybe I hit something, and it maybe cut my tank or something. But I know I didn't do it. So I go to the gas station to put some gas in there. It was right above E. As I'm driving to the gas station, it just visually, I see the gauge drop. And I'm like, okay, panic mode. Let me just make it to the gas station and I should be good to go. All right, so I pull into the gas station. Okay, I'm here. I think I'm safe. I go to put gas in there, and as soon as I put gas, it's running out. I'm like,
No way. So somebody punctured your gas tank and stole all your gas?
exactly what happened. It's a plastic tank. So I go into the car and there's a perfect circle there. And I'm like, all right, maybe there's a plug. So I make the phone calls. I go to I'm calling. This is a weekend, so nobody's open. So I finally have to wait for the dealership and have it towed to the dealership. And I'm saying, hey, there's got to be a plug missing. Just let's check it out. He goes, I had to go check a couple other Tahoes in there just to make sure that we don't have a plug missing and nobody has a plug. So somebody actually drilled a perfect circle in your tank and stole my gas.
What were you parked in front of?
I was parked at a hotel,
Did they have security footage?
not by the pool. Conveniently not where my car was parked. And they did nothing. Not even offer me like a free night or something. Not that I expect anything for free, but just to be genuine about it. So, hey, we're sorry. Maybe we can do this. They were just like, oh, it's your tough shit.
Yeah.
So I can't remember the name of the hotel, but
Florida style.
It's definitely Tampa. Anyway, to make a long story short, dealership doesn't have the tank. Special order. 2 weeks. So I got to rent a car, come home. And anyways, I finally got it fixed. Back and forth with the insurance company. and I had to drive back to Tampa to go get my car. So that's my Tampa story. So anytime I think when anybody says Tampa, I'm just like, Tampa.
Shithole.
And everybody, no, but it was actually in a
Tampa.
good neighborhood. And everybody's like, no, you're in a good neighborhood where you were. That shouldn't happen there.
Clearwater? Do you remember?
I can't remember the name. It wasn't Clearwater, but it was supposed to be a decent town. I mean, there was no liquor stores or pawn shops. It was a pretty decent neighborhood at a decent hotel.
Oh,
Damn.
I thought it was like a Motel 6 or something.
Nah, man. I let somebody make hotel arrangements for me one time, and it was like a Motel 6. So when it comes to that, I don't mind spending a little bit extra money to sleep in comfort.
I got a good motel story from this past weekend, actually, my Tampa road trip. So I went up for it's probably 48 hours, maybe not even, like 36. I went up with this guy that goes to our gym, Octavio. Shout out Octavio. Shout out Fit Maintenance.
Fit Maintenance
Miami, Fit Maintenance USA. If you guys need any barbell or any equipment maintenance in your gym, he's your guy. And he's no longer just Florida now. He's
moving on.
He's
Speaking
national.
of Invictus, he was in Cali, right?
He was in Cali, yeah. He was doing the maintenance for CrossFit Invictus, so that should speak volumes. So he had to do some work for CrossFit West Chase, hence this quick road trip, and he booked a hotel for the night, and he was like, "Look, bro, I got this place for $90." I was like, "All right, cool. Like, we'll split it, whatever." And in my head, I was the kind of kid that was raised where my family was always willing to pay a little extra for, clean and comfort.
For a little better amenities.
Correct. And I was like, all right, $90 in Tampa. I'm like, what the hell is $90 in Tampa going to get us?
Damn.
So
Quick Google search.
I was like, all right, let put this in Jesus's hands, please. So we pull up there, and immediately on the corner, there's like these 3 old dudes, like tatted up, head to toe, tailgating on the corner, smoking cigarettes. And keep in mind, it's like 5 in the afternoon. I'm like, okay, this is nice. And we get out of the car. So we couldn't find the entrance. It was right off the highway. So we parked on the wrong side of the building. So we did a full lap around the building, which thank God we did, because that like confirmed my fears of this place. And it was like one of those hotels where people have been living there for months and months on end.
I know what you're talking about. Those types.
I'm not sure what that's called exactly, but like one of the rooms, like the AC, I guess, wasn't on. So they had the window propped open with a fan. And me and Octavio look at each other. We're like, what the hell is going on here? And we do a full lap around. There's like a lot of trailer trash coming in and out of this place. And we're like, all right, something's not right here. And he looks at me with he's Cuban. So with his Cuban accent, he's like, bro, do you see this? He's like, is this the kind of place where people live? I'm like, yeah, bro, it's definitely that kind of place. And we walk in. I'm like, all right, let's just walk into the lobby, because the lobby to me is like the final confirmation. It tells the whole story. And we walk in, the lobby smells like cat piss. And
ew.
The chick behind the desk is smoking a cigarette, like typing on the computer. And
People still allowed to smoke inside?
No. Exactly.
With the no smoking sign right next to her.
Right. And he whispers in my ear, he's like, I can cancel it. I was like, let's go outside. We'll figure out another place. He's like, yeah, bro, I don't want to stay here. So within another 30 minutes, we figured out another place to stay. We stayed at like a Courtyard Marriott, whatever, for an extra like $50. I was like, okay, cool, perfect. And Marriotts are pretty reliable in the sense of cleanliness, I would say. And we walk back around to the car, and these group of guys that are sitting there drinking and smoking are like, hey man, do you guys need help finding the reception? I'm like, nope, we're good.
We're good. We're out of here.
We're out of here. So Tampa's very different than Miami in the sense of the kind of demographic you get, to say the least. And listen, I haven't stayed in many hotels in Miami, but my Tampa experience has been interesting thus far.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
It's got to have a pool. It's got to have microwave, standard refrigerator, because I don't like eating out all the time. Complimentary breakfast is definitely a plus, even though it's always those powdered eggs.
Like
and I'm just like,
continental.
ew. Yeah, just give me some real eggs, man. I don't want any powdered eggs.
Funny story about continental breakfast. Back when I was in college, during the summer of COVID. So I when I was in college, it was throughout COVID. So I had semesters that were like from home and remote and such. And the summer of COVID, my buddies, so I went to school in Connecticut. I went to Connecticut College, and the majority of the students that went to Connecticut College are from the Northeast. So like Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New York. Not a lot of other people from the States really venture off to this small school. So all my buddies were from New England, and they came over to my place one night in the summer, and I had this friend that he drove down. He was like 40 minutes maybe from my place, and we go out that evening. We're hanging out, having a good time, drinking, whatever. And we come back, and we're all pretty lit at that point. And I'm setting up, of course, being the good host that I am, I'm setting up like, beds on the floor, blow-up mattresses, all that good stuff. And my buddy is like, he's probably the more sober one out of the 5 of us at this point. And he's like giving me shit, giving me a hard time. He's like, bro, what the fuck is this? Like this bed this whatever inflatable mattress that I set up. And I'm like, I turn to him, I'm like, what do you mean? This ain't the Intercontinental. And he turns around and looks at me. He's like, are you kidding me, bro? I was like, yeah, man, this is it. This is the setup. Like, you like it or not. And turns out I was just talking shit. And it turns out he got really pissed off at it. And so he jumps in his car at 3 a.m. and dips out. He's like, fuck this. I'm going home. Under the premise that, he's like saying like, oh, my sister's like in a bad situation. Like, I got to go help her. And I wake up the next morning and me and my boys are laughing. I'm like, what did Chris just dip? They were like, yeah, he was pissed. I was like, oh, shit. And then so I texted him, and this kid didn't text until like the end of the night. Like, we all thought he was like missing. We thought we were like, worst case scenario, all right, this guy drove home at 4 a.m. Like, he got into a car accident. Like, we're screwed. And this was my parents' house at the time. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, my family's going to go to jail for this. Like, this is going to be a big thing. And lo and behold, it all worked out. But that's my little tangent about the continental breakfast. Because when you come stay at my house, don't think this is the damn Intercontinental.
So he got pissed off because he had to sleep in a bed that was
a blow-up
air.
mattress. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Tough crowd.
I guess. Anyway.
we can cut that part out.
We don't want to piss Chris off.
No. I don't think Chris is listening to Outside the Box. It's all good. If you are, much love, bro. Hope you're doing good.
Yeah, hope you're not sleeping on air mattresses anymore. God forbid.
Yeah. We need to we need to do an episode with you, me, Ernie Bernie when he's back.
God. Yeah, I can't wait to hear his stories.
He's got good stories.
No, he always does.
We need to go through it. We have DTSC is a very foreign crowd, so the majority of our members speak multiple languages, and we have some very interesting accents in the gym as well. So when we shit talk each other, it's always in each other's like native tongue and their accents. So like we have a member, his name's Ernie. He's my age. He's an Italian kid, and he has a very thick Italian accent. So when we talk to him like, what do you mean the prosciutto isn't ready? Like, come on, limoncello. Are you going to do a chesta bar? Or are you going to be a pussy today? Come on, let's go.
Yeah, they've got a mix of everything. We got some Frenchies.
French, Russian, Italian, a lot of South American, as you'd expect in Miami.
Go figure. Brazilians.
Rick, what's your nationality?
I was born in Jamaica, but lost the accent. Some people say they hear it, but I used to get picked on a lot as a kid because I just spoke different. So I just kind of got it out of my vernacular. So,
did you grow up here?
Pretty much. I came here when I was 7.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So I pretty much been Americanized. I guess we're winding down.
I think so.
I think so. I think we have a wad to do.
Yeah,
it's
that's what I'm
definitely
thinking.
We got to find somebody else. So yeah, any ideas of who we should bring on next? Definitely got to bring Jessica.
Yeah, you guys definitely have to talk to Jessica about the gym and just everything.
I didn't want to pull Jessica up today, one, because she has to coach, but also, two, I think
Yeah, she would have definitely ran over her coaching time.
we would be getting done here at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And for good reason, though. Jess has fantastic stories and definitely good ones for this podcast.
Big weekend coming up. I think Murph's coming up. You guys doing it?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Definitely, I'm thinking about doing it on partition.
Oh.
You're going to do it with the ruck?
No, I'm sticking with the vest. No, I don't remember if last year I tried it with the ruck or not. I know I wanted to, and then maybe at the last minute I was like, no, I'll do it with a vest. Just keep it.
It's way different with the ruck.
It is.
It's gnarly.
I mean, just doing, what do you call it, Chad with a ruck
Yeah.
hurts.
I like the balance of a vest. It's just, to me, it feels balanced.
Yeah, it doesn't pull you back.
Right.
I guess the one thing I would say about the ruck bag is I wish it had waist straps, like
A
padded
waist strap,
waist
yeah.
straps.
Yeah, that's the only, I think, like with rucks, that's like the only gripe I have with them, because most, like, being from the military, most rucks have a waist strap, you know, because
Right.
it helps out when you want to take the load off your shoulders, or you want to concentrate the weight on the shoulders, whatever, and it holds the ruck weight better. Like,
Correct.
so yeah, that's the only problem with
It's like
Go
if we
Ruck
were
I've
at
had.
tanks at work, that it's padded at the waist, it swivels, and it's just a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
And your shoulders are not bearing the weight the entire time. Every time I think about a ruck, I think about like the games when Haley Adams.
Well, yeah, when she like almost like bled to death from her lower back.
Which one was this?
Man,
Was it the games? I think I want to say it was
It was the
Rogue.
games.
What? It wasn't Rogue. When
somebody
they did
tell us.
that-
But I believe it was at the games, and it was, man, I got to go back and look at it now. Probably like 3 or 4 years ago. Speaking
thought
of
it
Haley
was
Adams,
that.
she's back this year, I believe, right?
Yeah, she is.
Hey, actually,
Mm-hmm.
that's my dark horse pick on the women's side.
Yeah, bringing it back around to Dark Horses. That it should be a good year for her. I mean, I haven't really heard whether she's with Mayhem or not. I know she's being coached by different coaches who are not Mayhem.
I think I saw that special on her. That she was in Carolina or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean,
Should
hopefully
be a good year. Seems like a pretty competitive field.
she seems like she's back in her headspace in CrossFit.
That's right. That's youngins. Come on.
Yeah.
It's like a changing of the guard. There's just like a lot of new athletes that I, need to follow more and get to know, because back in the days when we all knew the Riches, we all knew the Mats, and we just knew the guys, and now there's just like a changing of the guard where you just see just a new wave coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
there's such a saturation of like fit people now. Like CrossFit's big enough to where, and I wasn't in the CrossFit world back when Rich Froning was the man, but what I have heard and noticed is that it was the same group of guys that was going to the games every year for quite a period of time. Now it's like you see people do the open, like you have a lot of fit people saturated up at the top there. I mean, granted, the top couple hundred is its own league of its own, but
Yeah.
from like 500 down to like 2,000, there's a bunch of really fit dudes and girls that are like on the fringe, but so far away at
Yeah.
the same time.
It's sort of like a competition I used to do when it was just a lot of good Americans and Canadians, and then you saw the Europeans starting to make that progression, and they come to play. They're not just coming here just to say, I made the games. They're coming to take names and kick ass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at this year. There's not going to be one female from Iceland. It's been a
True.
while since that happens.
True.
Getting older.
We're getting old.
Yeah, it happens.
I feel it.
Oh boy.
Look at this guy. He's like 20-something years old.
The joints don't hurt that bad yet, but one day they will.
Wait till you start walking upstairs and you hear it.
What do you mean? Just air squatting? It's like
Snap, crackle, pop.
putting no weight on my back, just squatting down. It's like clack, 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 clack.
All right, so we're looking forward to Murph. Jessica has a couple other events up her sleeve, so looking forward to it. It's gonna be a pretty busy month.
I think what we can do is we'll put a tag showing all the events that are coming up for DTSC at the end of this video, so those that are in the Miami area or curious can come check us out. We're conveniently located in the heart of downtown Miami, and always welcoming drop-ins. Our gym is not only a great community, but I was just telling Jess today I picked DTSC because when I moved down here, the programming was hands down the toughest in Miami. So that was a big plus for me. But we always welcome our drop-ins.
Yeah, and I think this could be another episode itself, just talking about like the gym, the programming. That's especially one thing that I like about it, that they don't depend on like Mayhem or HWPO or whatever. They do their own programming, and for the most part, I mean, it's probably some of the best programming I've seen.
I'd agree. I have a good friend of mine from back in Rhode Island when I first started CrossFit. Shout out to Ray Flesser. He originally was with Ocean State CrossFit and has recently branched off to open his own gym, the CrossFit 401. Go check them out. Great gym in Rhode Island. He used to always preach that you program for the best and you scale for the rest. And when he was at Ocean State, he had all of his competitors, and they sent a couple teams to the games certain years. They consistently had regionals and semifinals teams. And he very quickly cut out the whole concept of open gym and doing your own programming. Like, if you want to do accessory and some other stuff after class, great. But even the best competitors in the gym show up and do class. Like, that was the standard that was set. And I've always thought that was the coolest thing, because part of the reason we do CrossFit is for the community. You know, there's something that's very special about suffering with other people for the sake of becoming better people and fitter people. And once you have competitors that are kind of coming in the gym, doing their own thing in their own corner, like, people will do one of two things. Like, you'll begin to isolate yourself, or people will start wondering, oh, what's that guy doing over there? I want to try that. And then you have this kind of diversion in the gym. And Jess is pretty good. Jess is not pretty good. Jess is great with that, with providing programming and coaching that tailors to the best athletes in the gym and sets the standard high, but it's also attainable for the athlete, let's say the Joe Schmo that just walks in on the street. You know, everything's scalable, of course. Everything is modifiable to the intensity that's prescribed for the day. But the guys that are coming in here that really want to kick some ass have the ability to, based on what the programming is for the day.
Like Ray, he was owner of
yeah, he
gym,
was
right?
He was one of the owners of Ocean State.
Yeah, because I remember he was on a Sevon podcast one time, and
Yeah.
that's where I heard about him.
Ray's a solid dude. Ray's a fantastic coach too. He's one of the few guys that I've seen coach, especially with teams. He's really good with taking a group of solid athletes and making them fantastic team athletes, and even on the individual side. But Ocean State was always more known for the teams that they would send to regionals and such. And, you know, he's one of those guys that is get after it in the gym, get after it out of the gym, like, have a good time, train hard, you know, do it with your boys, do it with your family, and bring the best out of people. And that, to me personally, is what I've always seen CrossFit is about.
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom.
We're done.
Episode numero uno.
Two.
Technically. let's not talk about what happened.
You're not going to talk about the first episode.
First episode.
Maybe one day
I got
it'll come
fired
out.
on my first episode.
We took a 6-month hiatus after the first episode.
Back on track.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the invitation. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming
Oh, you're
on,
coming
Alonso.
back.
It was a
coming
great
back.
time.
We have more content to cover with you, my friend.
Yes, we do. It was fun.